Hi there, welcome to my channel, and today we're going to be drawing this beautiful Kawaii Chihuahua. So let's get started. I'm going to open my app, Procreate, and I already have a sketch done. It's pretty rough, I know, but it's going to turn out well, I promise. So you have to copy this canvas and paste it in another canvas with new dimensions. So let me show you. We're going to create the new canvas, which is going to be 2048 pixels by 2048 pixels with 300 dpi. In your new canvas, go to the wrench icon and then click add and then paste. And there you have it. You have your sketch previously done. And now I'm going to select my brush. We're going to go to the calligraphy category. It's a default category in Procreate, and I'm going to select monoline, but I'm going to edit it a little bit. So first I'm going to duplicate it, and then where it says stabilization, you're gonna give it like a 50 to 59% so that you have a streamline. So if you tend to have wobbly lines like me, then this is a very good thing for you. Now I'm going to lower the opacity of my layer and set it to multiply so that I can see it at all times regardless of the colors that I use for my drawing. We're also going to use two different free brushes that I created for the head and for the ears of the dog. If you're interested in these brushes, you can download them in the description of this video. For the color, I'm gonna pick this light brown, which you can also download the color palette for this drawing. You will find it in the description. And we're going to try to resize it so that it fits our sketch. And we are going to rename it to head. And we're going to create another layer for the ears, and we're going to name it ears, of course. And again, you just have to stamp the brush and resize it so that they are behind the head. There you go. Now I'm gonna go to my monoline brush, which I have in my favorite brushes, and we're gonna create the body. We're gonna pick the same color, and we're going to create another layer. Drag this new layer underneath the ears and then click the wrench icon to go to canvas, then drawing guide so that we can turn on symmetry and make sure to set it to vertical. Then click done. But before you do that, make sure that the guideline is centered in your Chihuahua. We're going to use it to draw the body, the legs, and the arms of the Chihuahua. I'm going to speed up this process. I don't want to make this video too long. You can lower momentarily the opacity of the body so that you can see what you're drawing because everything has the same color. And remember to name your layers respectively. Now we're gonna pick the second color in the second row to color the snout of our dog, the ears, and the feet. And we can name this layer color 2 and set it as a clipping mask. Draw an oval and make sure to close it. And you can drag the color. Create another layer to draw two circles for the eyes. Oh, the thing behind the eyes. It's not the actual eye, but we're gonna need those. Hold your finger on the screen so that you can snap it to a quick shape and make it a perfect circle. You can move it and place it with the selection tool. Make it as big as you want. Here you are free to choose whatever size you want for your eyes. And then you can just duplicate this layer, put it next to it, and then you can combine both of them. We're going to duplicate the ears layer, and we're going to color them with the second color on the second row as well. And we're going to use the selection tool to modify each ear individually. And we're going to resize it so that it's smaller than the brown ear. And now we have a perfectly symmetrical, well, not perfectly symmetrical, but they are very similar. And we're gonna do the same with the other ear. There we go. Right. We do the same with the feet, and as well, you're gonna use the selection tool to resize them. Create another layer and set it as a clipping mask so that we can draw. Then we're gonna merge them together, but I like to have them on a separate layer just in case I need to move things around or make some adjustments. Then it will be easier to have them on a different layer. On another layer, we're going to create the face, and remember to rename it as usual. We're gonna use that brown color at the end of the second row, and we're going to create 2 circles. Then we merge them. On the same layer, we're going to draw the nose and the mouth. Then we just color pick white to create some highlights on the eyes. With the third color on the second row, we're going to draw the cheeks. We're going to create, as usual, 1 circle, and then we duplicate it to put it on the other cheek. And merge them together, lower the opacity so that it is a lighter, softer effect. Now it is time to add some color variation on the brown, so we're gonna color pick it, and we're going to choose a more saturated, darker version of it. And for the brush, we're going to use one brush that is called Noise, that you can find in the materials or touch-ups category. And we're gonna start slightly adding some color, very carefully, because this brush has a lot of pressure. So the more you press on the iPad, the more color it will come out. I forgot to draw the belly, so I'm gonna do that now on a different layer over the body and set it as a clipping mask. We're going to draw an oval, and then we can color drop it like this. And then with the selection tool, we select warp, and we give it more like a rounded shape, but flatten at the bottom. There. Just like this. And then you can make it bigger or smaller as you wish with the uniform tool. We continue adding some shadows with the noise brush in our ears, the hands, the feet. And we're gonna do the same with the lighter colors. We color pick it as well, and we're going to select a darker color so that we can start adding some texture and that it doesn't look so flat. Now we need to give it a little bit more of contrast between every body part. We need to add some shadows. For that, we're going to create a layer on top of every body part, and we're going to drag it on top of all of the layers that we have done before, and we're gonna set it as linear burn. We're gonna choose the monoline brush, and for the color, we can choose a dark gray that has a tint of purple. And we lower the opacity of the layer We're going to draw a line where the body will cast a shadow, naturally cast a shadow on another body part, like below the neck, below the arms, and also some parts of the ears as well, and the legs. As you can see, I just keep on adding some shadows, and all of them I am setting them as linear burn and lowering the opacity so that you can just barely see them and that they look as shadow and they don't look as harsh. You can also apply Gaussian blur. I am also applying that so that it blurs a little bit the shadows and they don't look so straight line. Now I want to organize all of my layers because it is a little bit messy now. So I'm grouping all the ears layers, all the head layers, body, arms, and legs, so that I can then group them into only one big group, which is gonna be the dog. Now we go back to the monoline brush with white. We're gonna start creating some highlights. And I like white because then when you lower the opacity, it looks super soft. And then I just start drawing some lines here and there where I see some light coming directly. You need to think of a light source, where the light is coming from, but to be honest, I just place them where I think it looks nice, and then I put the light source somewhere else. So yeah, that's a little bit my process, but yeah, you can do whatever you want when you're drawing. Now it's the time to group all of my layers into only one so that I can move my dog around and place him wherever I want, because I'm going to create the background. We create this base color, which is like a yellow, and then we're going to add some orange. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna blur it. We drag the color, we click the magic wand icon, and then we select Gaussian blur to make a gradient. And I like to lower the opacity a little bit so that it is very, very light color variation. Now I want to create a background behind the dog. And for that, we're gonna go to the artistic brushes. We're going to select Quoll, lower the brush size a little bit, and then make a circle. This is kind of like a watercolor brush. It's so beautiful. I love it so much. And the more you pass the brush, the more strokes you make, the darker it gets. And we can use the warp selection tool to adjust the form and the shape of this background. And there you go. I really like how this is turning out. We're going to create another layer and add some grass. For that, we're going to go to our inking brushes and we're going to select Boli de Studio or Studio Pen and create some lines. I really like the texture and the tapering of this brush because at the end of the brush, it is very thin, so you can do these wonderful strokes. With the monoline brush, we're going to draw the sun, duplicate it, and then the bottom layer, we're going to apply Gaussian blur to add some shine. Then we're going to group them and name our layers to sub. Now we're going to create another layer. We're going to pick white to draw some clouds. And again, we're going to use the monoline brush. We're going to duplicate the cloud and then we're going to color it with a light blue. And then we're just going to drag it down and erase the bottom so that they are aligned with the selection tool. For the last step of our drawing, we're going to create a new layer for the faces. We're going to draw faces on the sun and the clouds. And we can use a dark brown color, just as we did with the eyes and the mouth. Finally, to add some texture and some character to this drawing, we're going to create some highlights, some sun rays. And then we color drop it. We're going to lower the opacity and just to a 30% and apply Gaussian blur. Now on another layer, we're going to use overlay mode and we're going to use another color, some dark brown, and then we can again use the Gaussian blur to make a mood. Actually, I decided to go back to the normal mode because I think it looks better. Lower the opacity and that's it. You're done. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye bye.